You know what? Here's the absolute truth. When you first start on the journey of entrepreneurship, you can find yourself a little bit over here and a little bit over there. I mean, literally doing all of the things that possibly you really have no business doing, especially if you want to absolutely grow and scale your business. Hey, beautiful, welcome back to my channel. Tamia DAWKINS here. Super excited to have you to join me. And if you've never seen my face before, I would love to invite you to go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the cute little bell for updates, because on my channel we talk about all things connected to living the intentional lady life so that you can live a life and build a business that I know that you'll absolutely love. Why? Because of the fact that you built it. So the truth is, as an entrepreneur that is upcoming, you can sometimes become so distracted. Come on, tell the truth. I mean, one minute you might be scrolling on social media and you know you're supposed to be finishing up your project, or let's say you have a call scheduled. Maybe you're running a little bit behind because of the fact that you prioritize something else. But the truth of the matter is, as we all know, if we do not stop doing the things that do not matter within our businesses, how can we expect to move forward in a very healthy way on our entrepreneurial journey? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about 10 things that you really need to stop doing right now so that you can absolutely grow and scale your business. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so here we go. Number one, I really need for you, us, those of us that are entrepreneurs, to really stop trying to do all the things. Now listen, lonelyentrepreneur.com says one of the most damaging perspectives you can have as an entrepreneur is believing that there's no one out there that can do the job in your business that needs to get done except for you. This is really a very limiting mindset and a limiting belief, because remember that when you are starting in entrepreneurship, yes, you have many of all of the different things that you have to do, but you definitely need to learn to outsource at the beginning if you can. If you could possibly hire a VA to post on your blog once a week, or social media manager to help keep things visible in terms of social media, that would be great for you to have the opportunity to be able to do. But don't try to do all of the things by yourself, because what will happen in the end is complete, total discouragement. That's what will arise. And sometimes I think that we can become so ignorant to the fact that we are really beginning to develop bad habits of not wanting to let other people in. Now, I get it. You do all of the things when you first start in entrepreneurship, and we figure, you know what, I'm still at that point where I might not be making the money that I want to make in terms of that reoccurring revenue, and so I can't outsource. But here's the truth. If you do outsource work at a great rate that you can probably, in some cases, sacrifice to go ahead and pay someone, you'll find yourself being able to focus on the lady CEO things that absolutely need your attention. So from now on, stop trying to do all the things and get you some help. Now, the second thing that most upcoming aspiring entrepreneurs find themselves doing that they need to stop doing is looking too far ahead in the future. Now, sometimes out of excitement, you can look too far into the future of your business building. Now, it's fine to have different timelines of goals that you definitely want to meet, because that keeps you motivated in moving forward in terms of your business. But stressing yourself out about a 5-year plan down the road that really in some cases might be unattainable on the basis of where you currently stand, because of the fact that mainly life is going to happen, is not the healthiest thing to do. So what I'm not saying is that you shouldn't set goals, but what I am saying is that you shouldn't go so far ahead that you really are not enjoying the road that you're currently on while you're building within lady entrepreneurship. All right, so we're on number 3 now. And some of us as upcoming and aspiring entrepreneurs need to stop paying attention. I mean, so much attention to our competitors. Now, I always talk about not feeling guilty or like a hater or whatever else you want to call it for not following those that are your competitors. Now, this might be on a what I'd like to call sometime basis. This might not always be the case. You see, if you are not careful, you will become so distracted, especially in the beginning stages of your building. So I'm not telling you to be a hater, but what I am telling you to do is make sure that you really minimize in terms of always checking their Instagram and their Facebook, or even joining their email list. I believe that there is definitely a time or a place for this, but for you to consistently do that, and in some cases automatically begin to compare yourself, this is obviously not a good thing. Now, I'm not saying that you should not be in the know about exactly what your competitors are doing. Yes, you should be in the know. Yes, you should be at a place where you understand the trends that are going on so that you don't fall behind. But when you get to this place where you really begin to start obsessing and belittling yourself on your own personal journey that you can only go on, then you need to make sure that you unfollow some people. And you don't necessarily have to tell someone that you did this. This is your own personal strategy for making sure that you are not getting distracted and you are absolutely moving forward so that you can grow and scale your business as an upcoming entrepreneur. So our number 4 thing that a lot of upcoming aspiring entrepreneurs find themselves doing is ignoring their mental and emotional well-being. I think that this is something that is super important. Why? Because there are 72% of entrepreneurs who are affected by mental health conditions, according to startupgrind.com. That's a very high number. And I think that this occurs because on one hand, there's a huge amount of creativity in terms of the giftings of a lot of entrepreneurs. And sometimes when you're so super creative like that, you can be at this place where your mind is kind of like running a mile a minute. Like you can, in some cases, kind of like be all over the place. Not all, but some. And I think that if not careful in terms of having some kind of know in terms of where you are from a mental health standpoint, you can really find yourself kind of like tipping over. And so the mental health condition that a lot of entrepreneurs do struggle with is depression, right? Because of the fact that you're trying to, create this dream that is literally in your head. You have to take all of the different puzzle pieces and kind of put them together. In some cases, really being a trailblazer for certain components of your particular business that have never been discovered before, in terms of like you have your own personal blueprint that you are creating on the basis of what you basically see in your head. And so in many cases, entrepreneurs find themselves so super duper depressed because of the fact that they're consistently, in some cases, failing in order to scale. But they don't oftentimes pay attention to the patterns that come up in terms of not having the best or the most healthy mental health. So as an aspiring upcoming entrepreneur, be sure to pay attention to your mental health. If you need to talk to someone, if you need to join a tribe of other upcoming lady CEOs so that you can make sure that you are always articulating where you stand. You don't want to ignore this potential problem, but you definitely want to make sure that you get a hold of it so that you can do everything that you could possibly do to keep moving forward on your journey. Number 5, entrepreneurs that are upcoming, entrepreneurs in general, they need to make sure that we are not working without taking a step back. Right? So in our world today, everything is forward moving. We're always like on the grind, consistently moving forward. But what we need to remember is that it's important for us to make sure that we are reflecting so that we can effectively move forward within our lives or on our entrepreneurial journey. I oftentimes tell a story, whether I'm doing a training or just if I'm talking to someone, about how one of my coaches in a program that I was in really had to stop me and just shake me up a little bit and say, hey, you know what? I think that you're feeling discouragement because you're not taking time to reflect. It's just like I was in go mode, moving forward. So I just want to warn you to remember to count your blessings. Take time to reflect on where you've come from so that you can kind of see the journey behind you. And that is something that can be so encouraging to you on your journey of entrepreneurship, to say, oh my goodness, I was here in terms of my mindset, or I was here in terms of the steps that are needed to be able to build my startup, but now I'm here. That's reflecting, just really looking back to assess how far you have come so that you have the necessary and healthy momentum to be able to move forward. Now, number 6 is this. Are you the type of person that is always winging it? I mean, you kind of, I think they say you fly by the seat of your pants or something like that, which simply means that you're the type of person that just kind of like on a whim tries to move forward and get different things done in your business. This is something that you are going to have to stop doing. You see, entrepreneurs in most cases scale and grow because of the fact that they are strategic. They're not perfect, but they're definitely planned in their success. So you have to learn how to plan and not always play or say, you know what, something came up and I wasn't able to do A, B, and C. Truth be told, there are those moments where life happens. Trust me, I know. I'm a mom of 3. I'm taking classes right now. I'm a whole wife. Like, there is always something on the table for me to do. So I get that. But if you begin to get in your mind that you're not going to be the type of person that always goes with the flow, always is winging it, but you're going to learn how to make sure that you put things in place so that you don't have to be in this place where you're consistently always reacting to stuff, but you know what is upcoming, then you'll find that you have that consistent momentum to move forward within anything that you're doing as you build your business. Now, number 7, I'm a millennial, right? But I want to say that this is kind of connected to my generation, and I don't know if you'll necessarily agree, but what I find is that this whole like self-made movement, I did it by myself, I didn't need anybody's shoulders to kind of stand on, is something that hinders entrepreneurs that are upcoming in our time. And so that is to be in this place where you have like this consistent entitlement to everything, right? So I was recently told in an interview that I had to do with a psychologist that narcissism, right? This behavior, this issue is one of the leading things that psychologists are treating people for in our days. Like, people are going in consistently for the issue of being narcissistic. So when you're talking about being narcissistic, you're talking about having like this really inflated view of yourself or feeling, really super duper important. And so what I'm not saying is that we are not important, but when you mix kind of feeling yourself with also feeling like you have this sense of entitlement, that is a place of disaster. And what will happen is that you'll oftentimes end up slipping into a place of personal depression, because you're not going to tell the world, because of the fact that you feel like you should be seated in a seat that you have not necessarily earned. So I know we call ourselves, boss lady, and I'm the boss, and all this stuff. But the truth of the matter is that you have to own that seat. And when you've done the work and you have done what it is that you needed to do to be able to get to the top of the mountain and be sustained, then you can go ahead and be able to say what is necessary for you to say, and not just to be able to say that I'm the boss, but at the same time to be able to stay in this place of humility so that you can really be a blessing to upcoming entrepreneurs that are watching you. But you don't want to have this sense of entitlement, because it's definitely a distraction in terms of your character and who it is that you are to the people that you interact with. So if that's been something that you find yourself doing, where you feel like you're really consistent and like, I'm important, oh, it's all about me, then really check yourself in terms of your character and sizzle down. And when you get to that place of where you can definitely say that you've arrived, then that's absolutely fine. But if you're at the beginning of your journey, just take an assessment that you're there and do what you're supposed to be doing at that level. So number 8 is following every single trend. This is one of the greatest ways that upcoming entrepreneurs can find themselves super duper distracted. So what you need to know is that trends happen and they change, right? It's a part of our culture. And if not careful, you try to adapt to everything everyone is doing, and you find yourself failing because when you try to do that particular trend, it might not necessarily work out for you the way that you thought. So you see one of the greatest influencers in your niche doing a particular thing, or let's say a campaign, and you try it. You don't have the team, you don't have the money, the budget, none of that stuff. And you find yourself falling flat on your face because of the fact that you really tried to do something that you weren't in the right season to be able to do. Now, if you thrive at it, great. But if you're at this place where you can't discover who it is that you are as an individual upcoming entrepreneur because you're just here, there, once again, and all over the place in terms of the upcoming trends, then that's not good. So definitely study the trends, but find out what you can do on the basis of the season that you're in as an upcoming entrepreneur. Now, number 9 is being what I call an information junkie. So an information junkie is an entrepreneur who spends their time taking in all of the things and studying their greatest mentor, but never taking the time to implement all of the information that they have taken in. So it seems that they never really are ready, right? They just have a dream stuck in their mind, but they never get into the place of putting forth action steps or making sure that they're implementing. Now, if this is you, don't feel bad, right? In entrepreneurship, you'll find that this is just a stage that you have to develop past in terms of not being afraid to show the world who you are and what God has given you and your talents and in your giftings. So if you find yourself at a place where you're taking every course, right? You're always watching stuff, you're always getting freebies, you want to make sure that you stop that continual bad habit of always digesting information, and you begin to really fuel from where you are so that you can absolutely begin to create with every amazing thing that you've absorbed over time. Now, number 10 is that you really want to stop worrying about those who cannot afford your products or your services. You can become hugely distracted by people that aren't your people. Let me say that again. You can become so hugely distracted by people that aren't your people. Now, it's important to understand that as you build your audience as an entrepreneur, these will be people that are consistently attracted to what it is that you have to give to them. And sometimes we are looking to just different people that aren't our people, that aren't our ideal customer or client or avatar. And I feel like the world is ignoring us because of the fact that we are looking to, once again, people that are not for us, right? People that are not going to spend coins for your products and services. So I want you to really just begin to refocus, really do the necessary marketing research to try to figure out who your audience is, and then begin to market to them or put out products and services that will attract that particular customer on the basis of what it is that you have to offer. But do not become distracted, once again, by people that aren't even your people. So I'd love to go ahead and have the opportunity to invite you to join my lady tribe, which is your lady tribe if you go ahead and you join, called Dominant Entrepreneurship Society. I'm super excited to be currently working on a very amazing and affordable membership that will have all of the puzzle pieces of what you need to be able to create an amazing business and entrepreneurial experience for you. And so do me a favor, make sure that you hit the link that I'm going to place down below, and definitely make sure that you join the community. As I mentioned, it is a free community where on a weekly basis I do trainings as well as different emails in terms of different tricks and tips to be able to help you to move forward on your lady entrepreneurship journey. So I'm super excited to be able to see you inside of the community. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the little bell for updates. I'll see you again here soon. Ciao.